all right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Welcome to the Hold on, let me turn that off here. Got it. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and get into it, guys. So let me just over here. Also, I need to pull up my basic shapes here. I like to keep those up here because sometimes they make you stay on track. So if you guys are on TikTok and you're watching, I'm going to be streaming on YouTube as well. If you want the experience of seeing my face, then go over to YouTube. Sometimes going on with Streamlabs every other day. It doesn't want to work for me. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I'm going to start by kind of warming up a bit. Let me just move my camera over just a bit so you guys can see exactly what it is I'm doing here. Wait. Okay, hold on. I think, hold on. Hold on. I think that's right. Let me see. Let me move this over some. This way I can be right over the top of my paper because this is not working out. Yeah, there we go. So I need my paper to be about right here. And so I'm going to have to move this out just a bit. Okay, now a little bit more. Okay, cool. There we go, guys. All right. I tried to do it from the side. This is going to be in my face just a little bit, but we'll be all right. Okay. So let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to warm up just a bit. So we're going to start off by warming up with some quick stick figures. So I know with caricatures, a lot of time you guys want to do themes or you want to draw hands and all stuff like that, and it might just seem unobtainable for you right now. So I'm going to spend the first few minutes of my stream kind of warming up with that. Okay. So here I'm going to show you a quick way to just learn bodies. Okay. The object is to think about the triangles. Okay, between the shapes. All right. So if you look here, right, I'm gonna start outlining triangles. Okay, for you. So if you look at this body here, let me just get a pencil out, a colored pencil here to be easier. So you'll see there's a triangle here, right? There's a triangle between here, right? There's a triangle here, right? And then there's even bigger triangle here, right? And then over here, right? You'll generally see this hexagon or this weighted shape here in the middle, and then usually you'll have your shapes in between here. So I'm always looking at the points of the body when I'm drawing a stick figure. So let me show you an example. Let's say I want to draw a guy that was round. Okay, just draw a round circle on the paper. Okay. Now, once you draw that round circle, right, then whatever extremities come off the bottom, think of an equilateral triangle. So this is an equilateral triangle, right? So this then would be equilateral based off of this side of the body. But let's say I wanted to make this one longer, I could draw an equilateral triangle like this to create the idea that the body's almost turned like sideways. Get it? Because his head would be here. You understand? And then here you can do the legs the same way. So you have equilateral, equilateral. So we're starting from here, ending up here. In other words, this limb is about the same length as that limb. Okay, this one right here, let's say if the leg is going out like this, then you'll have a leg like this, and then you'll have a leg like this. So you really want to just master what shape the body is making here, and then what shape is making in between these two features here. So now we can see it's real easy. So we can do any shape we want. So we got this. So if we draw an equilateral triangle here, right, we're thinking of, again, what shape are we thinking about? We're thinking of equilateral here, right, equilateral here, and then sometimes it'll go in like this, so it might be a different way. Okay, so this will be like the frame of your skeleton. A lot of times you can't think about, you can't see the frame in your head, so you kind of take off starting to draw the body and then trying to like sketch out and put different parts of the body, and it doesn't work like that. You need to have your framework down first. So let's go through that a couple of more times just for our little warm up again, and then we'll go ahead and get into drawing caricatures. Perhaps we'll do a theme. So let me sharpen my pencil again here, getting a little bit dull. Okay, and then again, let's do it again. Let's draw a couple of bodies. Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We can pull up some bodies here. Okay, and then you'll see here we have different bodies that we can use, and we don't have to draw them exactly like the ones in the picture. I'm going to find some easy ones to do. Let's see here. All right, what about let's put cartoon here. Let's put cartoon poses. Okay, let's look that up. All right, here we go. Okay, so we have some cartoon poses here. So if you look at these, right, these are real easy cartoon poses. So how would we do these in a caricature, right? So let's just look at one that's simple, kind of like the one we were doing here, all right? And if you look here, it kind of employs the same kind of a concept, okay, that you have an equilateral shape, right, coming out and then connecting to the hand. So if we have our head here, right, we can have our body like a little bean shape, right? And then we have our limbs here. So we'll have a 1, 2, right? And then look 1, 2, and they're equilateral shapes. Okay. Then back here, you can do a base. Now, if the body is turned, then what you can do is you'll just have to imagine from the other side. So in other words, the arms are coming from here. And so you have to be able to imagine the other side of the body coming almost from here out to here, and then from here to here, right? But the only part of the body you'll be able to see is obviously the outside piece. Then when you get here, your fingers, everything works the same way. So if this is the side of your hand here, all right, your fingers work the same way. So equilateral, right? And then you have let me do it like this. You have equilateral, then you have equilateral, then you have equilateral, then you have equilateral, right? And then you have equilateral. You see what I'm saying? So all your fingers kind of share the same kind of concept. Your body is amazingly organized in the way it does things, right? So this might be, again, the soapbox where my hand is on. 1, 2. Now we got 1, 2. Right, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? You see? And then you have your body parts here, okay? So that can be an easy way to do it, or you can do it this way, which I saw one cartoon artist, his name was Rogdon, and I saw him do it this way, where he would just practice drawing circles and making these things called widgets. So the widgets were like kind of like just to get the feel of learning how to draw something off of a body, right? You get what I'm saying? So whatever you want your cartoon to do, you just draw these little spikes off of it, right? And then they give you a good idea for like some really cool cartoon ideas, right? Okay, do like this. You can draw this, and you can just bring the little triangle shapes off of it. Okay. So whatever you want to do, right? You can do it like that. And these are the real easy ones. I like to use these ones at work. These are the ones I generally use. Sometimes when you get into a lot of this stuff right here, it gets a little bit confusing for some artists. But if you just think in terms of that widget shape, right, you can do some pretty amazing stuff, right? Okay, so here we go again. 1, 2, right? And then you have 3, and then you have 4, right? And then you have that leg kind of coming off the back here, right? Boom. And then you have this, boom, and you can come down here, right? You can make some more body parts there, all right? Okay, and just do it until you get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to get into the caricatures now. Yeah, I've been practicing bodies a lot, even though once I get behind the drawing board at work, it seems that all this stuff kind of comes to me automatically, even though I don't do a great deal of studying of the anatomy, to be honest with you. It still kind of just comes to me. Like if I see this here, I just draw like I would a regular caricature, you know what I'm saying? So I can see all of the parts. As long as I have a reference, I can generally copy it pretty good, right? So this would be like that, and then you just draw the shape in there like that. He has a huge head there, right? So you got a big head and a little body, right? What about I don't know, this guy over here? Okay, so this guy, he has let me see. How would I start that one? I think I will go ahead with my head shape, and I'll go ahead and draw the top widget shape, and then I'll come down like this, and then you can see your feet going like this, and then you have this shape going here, this shape going here, and it kind of bends around one, and it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Like that, right? Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Something like that. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay. So anyway, we did. Yeah, I don't. Like anatomy artists, people that draw anatomy, like one thing I've noticed about a lot of artists is they generally have something. They generally have something that they just do extremely well, as far as their artistic ability. You know what I mean? For me, that thing was more of drawing faces, right? When I draw faces, I've drawn so many faces in my lifetime. Now that one seems like a pretty cool one, right? So if you just draw some, if I make them into shapes more like this, so it's like a curve, right? And this would be a curve going backwards. This might look like a guy running, right? Then maybe his arm here. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so my thing was always like heads. I like to draw heads a lot. Okay. Let me see here. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our face drawings, guys. So we're gonna get out of this, and then we're gonna go over to drawing our faces. Okay, so let's go ahead and find us a face that we can start with. Maybe something like most of these are all moving models. Okay, so let's start with wait, let me see. I might need to go here and find a face that's more stationary. Something like let me see. Something with expressions in it. Male face models, life drawing references. Okay. All right, let me see here. All right, let's start with I don't know, what about this old guy right here? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw him real quick. All right, so how would I start that face right there? I don't know. I would want to get my eyebrows one, and then I'm gonna do something like this here, and then I'm gonna do something like this here. Okay, just like that. All right, now we're gonna draw our nose shape here. So our nose shape is kind of, I don't know, something like this. That's what it looks like to me. With a round ball at the top. All right. Okay, now we're gonna do our mustache here. So I'm gonna do the whole mustache first because sometimes using what's not a feature takes some of the pressure off you. So if a person has like a mustache or something like that, you can use that to help you with your positioning. A lot of the time getting confused about this is all about positioning, knowing where you're at in relationship to something else. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. What's going on, Karan? How are you today? And how are you, Maya? How are you on what's going on to my YouTube family? Don't forget, guys, man, to help me hit my goal today. If you guys don't mind trying to help me out, I'm trying to raise some money for my son's birthday party. That we are doing a dual party for them. It's actually next week, so we're trying to raise funds for that. So if you guys feel like you're a tip or whatever, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much. If you appreciate these lessons here, I'm gonna give you today. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Let's go to our outside shape here. So what I want to do is I want to look for something very arrowy. To be honest with you, I could go around the side of the eye and then come out to make that brow line a little bit more. So I could do something like this and then come out here and then down below the mouth before I come in, and that'll keep the age in his face. You know what I mean? You want him to have a little bit of maturity. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to extend the neck, even though it's not as extended in the picture, so that I can draw the collar, right, and his jacket, kind of like this. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and see if we can't get this top part done. So with that, I'm going to kind of foreshorten it just a little bit. Okay. So what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing here is a shape that kind of does like this, right, and then like this on this side. Okay, and then it goes on the top. It's kind of straight across, almost like this little piece is just sitting here, and then it's kind of coming down here a little bit, right? I try to make everything have one basic shape. This way it's not as confusing for me, right? And then over here we have another shape here that kind of goes in, right? And then let's go ahead and get the ear shapes in. Okay. So you want to learn how to draw, I feel, with, at first it's going to seem very robotic, if you will. You're going to be having to think about every step and all that. But trust me when I tell you that goes away after you've been drawing a while. It's just for right now. Some things only experience can teach you. And I believe that now. I'm a wholehearted believer in that. I'm going to tell you what made me learn that more than anything else was was becoming a dad. And once I became a full-time dad, right, I started understanding other fathers differently. Like I would be like, parents be tripping, man. What's wrong with these parents, right? And then I had my own kids, and then I understood. Oh, okay, and so nothing really can change your perspective about something more than just walking through it a lot of times. Okay, so this is picture number 1 right here. You're not gonna really do much to it. We're just gonna keep it simple, black and white caricatures. This way, you don't really need a lot of materials to help you to get through your drawing. I'm gonna try to get that glare out of there. Okay, good. That glare is killing me there. Okay. All right, so let's go to our next drawing. If you guys have any request, I can I can do your request for you as well. So let's find our next picture that we'd like to draw. I don't know, different ones just stand out differently to me. Let me see. See what it has here. Let's go backwards a little bit. Okay, so we have pixie cut wigs. We have short curly hair. We have, what does pixie cut wig mean? Okay, so this picture here, we can try that one. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, cool, that'll work. All right, so let's see what we can do with this one. With this picture here, it's so many different ways to try. Today, I'm just going to kind of go outside of my comfort zone a bit, and I'd like to try. I'm going to try. Let me see, what kind of shape do I want here? I'll tell you what we'll do. This is the easiest way to do this. I think the easiest way, again, like this. Okay, so we got our two claw shapes. Got my two claw shapes here. And then we're going to do our eye shapes here. So I want to do something where the edge of the eye is out here like this before I go into this part. Okay, this gives me a little bit more gives me a little bit more freedom to really place my nose the way I want to. So I'm going to place my nose about right here. I'm noticing something. I want to go with something a little upturned here. Okay. And then just kind of like this. Nothing too big. Nothing too fancy. All right. Want to make every line count. And then we're just going to kind of bend this shape in here. And we want to bend outward. So we want to, she has a kind of a deep bend here. I bent it more in the middle of the nose, which I think that's still going to work out for her. So let's check it out. Okay. All right, that'll work. All right, so what are we going to do next? All right, let me go ahead and do our mouth shape. So I'm going to do something like this here. Get that middle portion of the lip working first. The fullness in the lips. And then I don't know how this is going to come out. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just, usually when I go a little bit slower, there's certain movements, a certain line, things I can't do because the pencil's moving so slow. If you've been drawing a long time, you know what I mean when I say that. Okay, so these are going to kind of go back here, and this is really a round shape. See, like this one, I feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. I like this drawing, but I feel like let me see what's going to happen. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me see. I don't know. That one looks okay. Actually, it didn't come out too bad. I don't think it came out too bad. I just was, I got a little impatient. But I think it came out okay. That's one way I could exaggerate this, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool beans, man. Cool beans. I think it'll work. Can you draw Mr. Wrestling? Can you draw Mr. Wrestling #2, please? He is a wrestler from the Mid South. Mid wrestler #2. Who is that? I have to look him up. Is that what his name is? Wrestler #2. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna get my marker out here. All right, so our next ones I'm gonna try to do a little bit of marker for you. All right, let's just go through it. Again, guys, my hope is that like you can pay attention to what I'm doing, and then if you're having some issue or whatever with your drawing, that you will be able to work through those issues. Let me see here. Now this one, I'm still getting warmed up a bit. I'm gonna try something a little different with this one. Let me see. What if I do a triangle here? I'm just trying to do this real basic. What if I said triangle here, right? And then what if I said this is like a midsection kind of here going that way? Okay. And then this is some hair going down into the head, right? And then this is some hair on this side of the drawing, right? So I'm just trying to get it in there. Let's add a little bit more curl on the bottom of this one. Okay. All right. Now let me see here. I'm gonna try to. This is again super unorthodox of the way that I would normally do it, but why not? I need to expand my horizons a bit, right? I think that one came out cool. And then we can just do this here and this here. And then we'll just go with we'll just go some round shapes here like this. I'm gonna see how simple I can make it for you. Okay? That don't look like her. I know it doesn't, not yet. Hold on. I'm starting to get warmed up, I told you. All right, hold on. This is that. And that's that. All right. Boom, boom, right there. Boom, boom, right. Boom, boom, right. Boom. Okay, there we go. Now you see how much faster that it takes me about 3 drawings to get where I need to go. You know what I mean? I always tell people when I'm at events not to get drawn first. My first drawing is never my best one, so it's like anything, right? All right, so that one came out pretty cool. Let me see here. Got this and that. So this one's gonna be down like this. Oh wow, interesting. So if I do this, then this will be up here. Oh wow. So this would be like her little necklaces, right? And then it'll do like this. And then let me see. Then I have my arm coming back across here, and this arm coming here like that, right? Okay. Okay. Cool. Hey, thank you. I think I got somebody sent a pumpkin. Thank you, Fat Deposit. And somebody gave me a rose. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. I'm a step closer. Don't forget, guys, tips are appreciated. Trying to earn a little funding for my son's birthday party. We're throwing they're going to be 2 and 5, but we're doing their birthdays on the same day since they're so close together. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tipping, man. If you feel like you're learning today from the stream, okay. Nick Ward, I've been drawing for about I'd say about 45, 46 years. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So I really, really like the way, oh, right on, Extreme Smoky. What's going on, man? All right, let's go ahead to our next one. This one came out pretty decent. What do you guys think? I think it came out okay. Right? All right, let me see here. Okay. Let me see. All right, let's go to our next drawing here. So these are girls. It looks like we're doing ladies with curly hair today, right? All right, so now this one, what we're gonna do? How are we gonna do it? Let's put this one aside here, right? Boom. All right. I think that one. Matter of fact, hold up. Let me go back. Dang it. Where is that first picture at? I need to save that here. I need to save that. Hold on. Download. Okay. Just want to download that. Okay, now we'll go back down here to where we were. I think that was this one. Okay. Alpha Film Creative. All right, let me see. Scrappy Doo. Okay, we'll get into that in just a minute. You talking about Scrap? He said Scrappy Doo, right? The Scrappy Doo cartoon, right? Then you had Wrestler number 2. I don't even know who that is, but we'll figure it out. But let's go ahead and start with this face here. What I'm looking at here overall, you know what I see? I see I see 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes of hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw shape 1 first. 1, right? Okay, so that's shape 1. And then I see shape 2 down here. Right? You see what I'm saying? Before, now I see, once I have that, right, I see a little, I'm going to go here and here. And then I see shape number 3 over here. I might be able to add a little bit more fluffiness to it. Okay, and then shape number 4 coming out right here before it goes into my next shape. We can see she has very straight collarbones before it goes into her shoulders. So it's kind of like this, and then she has like this shape here, right? Something like that. It might be a bit wide for her. I should have made those a little bit less wide, but let's see. There we go. Okay. So we'll do something like that. Okay. Now let's see if we can get these earrings in here. Like that, right? Okay. And now we'll do our mouth, our inner shape. So we want to do this as simple as possible. So I always want to figure out what is it that I'm ultimately trying to do here. So I want to look for shapes that are going to really help me with that. So here, what I'm seeing is a shape like this. Here, like a guitar pick. Okay, and you can see here, this would be her eye shape here, right? Okay, so this is not about drawing like perfect anatomy. This shape here is going to be, let me think about that. It's a 1, 2, 3. I think of 1, 2. The nose is just 3 shapes put together to me. So once I figure out those 3 shapes, let's put them in there. And then here we'll just make a really small mouth. So what I'm gonna do is give her a kind of a really happier smile, right? A little bit of a happier smile. But then I'll just put lips on my happy smile, right? Okay. So now we're starting to really warm it up here, guys. Really warm it up. Okay. Let me see here. Let's draw this here over here. Okay. And then we'll just color in our eye shapes here. And I think I like that. I like the shape of those eyes right there. Those outside, what did I call those? Teardrop kind of eyes. So I'm just gonna make a note here, teardrop eyes. I'm always learning something new every day. So I'll keep these in my notebook. I have a little notebook that I use, especially when I teach my classes or whatever, that I come out of, and I use different techniques that to help different students learn how to do this. So I'm going to give you guys some information here. If you guys are interested, let me go ahead and pull it out real quick. All right, so first off, if you want to take a class with me, you can take classes at rouserworld.com/classes. I do offer live one-on-one classes with you. So if you want to learn to draw a caricature, you can take a class with me just by going to our website. Looking forward to meeting you. All right, the next thing is our Patreon page. If you want access to more videos, tutorials, things of that nature, where I'm more instructing you personally, going through like little minute things or little things that I don't specifically put on YouTube. I put them here because this is not everybody on YouTube wants to learn. I know when you go to Patreon, you want to actually learn it. So I'll go ahead and I put a little bit more into that. Not to say I don't put good videos on YouTube, but Patreon is like a more personalized experience. And then also, guys, we are raising money today. I have a $500 goal that I'm trying to hit. So we're doing this for 2 weeks. I'm trying to raise money for my son's birthday. So they're going to be 2 and 4. This is my job full time. So if it bothers you that I ask for, you know what I mean, I'm sorry about that. But this is what I do. So thank you so much if you want a tip, man. Thank you so much. All right. And tips can go to $ Cash App, Rouser World. Okay. So let's go ahead, guys. And we're going to go back to our drawings here. Okay. Also, you can use the super stickers or whatever you on YouTube. I think YouTube has the super stickers, so you guys can use those. Okay. All right. So I like the way this came out. I went from, and I'm just going to basically number out the way I went. I went 1, and then I had shape 2 over here, and then I had shape 3 over here, and shape 4 over here for my hair. Okay. Then we had the teardrop eyes. I'm just making notes here of things that I did. Okay. But other than that, I think it looks great. Right? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to our next drawing here. Okay. Let's see who we got. All right. So anytime you got these haircuts, remember, look at this haircut that I'm doing and remember to separate it into 4s. Anytime you see a haircut where they have big curls like this, right? It works for every single last one of them. She kind of reminds me of, I don't know, who was I thinking about when I saw that? Like almost like a young Gloria Estefan with curly hair. Okay, so let me see here. Let me do my next picture here. All right, so we're gonna go again 1, 2, 3, 4. So watch as we draw our head shape, right? The first thing we want to do, we can either draw the head shape or the hair, but I like to draw the hair first on this one because it's going to be coming over into the face. So first we're going to have this 1. Okay, so you see how this is coming over into the face like this. Okay, and then you can either go 1 here and then you can go 2 over here. All right, so I can just bring it out and come around and come down like with little small little curls, like drop down curls, right? So that's 2, right? And then I'll come over here and I want my shape to overall be very round. So that's what I'm really thinking about here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then after you get to that, now her face is a little bit rounder as it gets here. You see what I'm saying? Now, I could have made it a little bit fatter or whatever, but I don't think that's necessary. I think that this is enough space on her face right here for me to go ahead and add her neck shape. And then we can see here that she has more of the V in her shoulders, but that V always goes up and points at the shoulders here. Okay. And then here you'll see her traps don't look. So this is that V, like your bone in your, right here, your collarbone. I use that a lot to tell me like what the orientation of my body is. You know what I'm saying? Because this also tells us where to put you know, how to build your cartoon, right? And then you just come down with it, right? Just like so, right? Now, let's get some more little curls here. I'll put like a smaller shape at the bottom. So I want 1, 2, what is this? Did I say, is that a 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just like that. Okay, let's do our eyes. So we're gonna go. Let me see. 1, 2. What shape do I see here? I wonder. Now you see how I did this one as that rounded shape on the outside, but that's not how her eyes are. Her eyes are more. What I would do here is I would make it more. Maybe I can use the same concept but make it smaller. I wonder if that'll work or not. No, I don't think it'll work. I think the shape I need is this shape here. Yeah. And then she has like these super ultra long eyelashes. So I just make them like a shape and color them in. Sometimes it's easier to do it that way because you don't have as much busyness going on in front of the eye, right? All right, now we're gonna go to our nose shape here. She has a kind of full kind of a nose, so I think I'm gonna go with this, just the bottom half of a soft bow tie kind of a shape here. All right, that looks great. And then we'll do our smile here. So we really want this shape here before we go into our lips here. Okay. And I could have made the eyes a little smaller, but you know what? I think I can get away with that. This is a good caricature right here. Okay. 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 Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so I think we did enough of these hairdos. We did 3 of the curly hairs, right? So I'm gonna try a caricature with a different type of hair. So again, remember, anytime you have curly hair, you want sections in your hair. If you don't draw the sections, you're gonna get stuck with trying to draw this overall idea, which if you can see an overall idea, that's good. But most of the time, like for instance, if I try to draw her and I just go like this. Okay. You could do it like that and then come back like this. Right? And like that. And then add more if you need. You see what I'm saying? So you could do something like that if you can see it all as one piece. But the problem is sometimes even I can't do that. But I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that you know what I'm saying? Right. So you can do it like this. Right? And that's another one. I mean, that one doesn't look too bad either, but I feel like this one looks a little bit better because you see how all the shapes have been outlined and it gives you better coverage as far as when you want to color your picture in too. So, yeah. Invite Fox News. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let me see who we're gonna go to next. So we got enough on curly hair. Anything that somebody wants, any kind of request that anybody wants, just let me know about what I can talk about. Okay. We did this one here. All right. So let's find another haircut. Let's see. What about shorter haircuts? Let's look at somebody with a short haircut. Let me see here. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see. Short hairdos, female. Okay. So now we have short haircuts here. These are going to be pretty much the same idea. So let's say you're drawing. This one's a really short idea. Let me see. This one's pretty short. Something like maybe this, right? If you look here, she has a very short hairdo, right? So how can I approach that one right there? Let me see. All right, this is what I would do here. Once you look at the picture, you just got to go with it. So I'm looking. I see this front piece like something like this. This is all I can see. That's one. That's my first shape. And then I see another shape like this. Just basically something like this. Something like that. And then this one is something like that. That's what I see. Okay. Now once I get there, I start giving myself landmarks, right, to go by. Okay. She has a little bit of a butt chin. Okay. My characters all have long necks, right? And then what I'll do here is I'm gonna orientate the body so that I can put my shoulder here and then my other shoulder here. And then you can see how her dress kind of goes in this area around that bone and then comes back up, right? So you get a good sense of, how the anatomy is going to work on her, right? Okay, she looks like she's pretty strong when she works out, right? Okay. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Okay, hold on a second, guys. Something happened here. Okay, why is it doing that? Okay. Hold on one second, my friends. I just need to go over here and figure out why workflow isn't. Hey, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Oh man, thank you so much. Okay. All right, now we're gonna do our eyebrows here. So, what I'm seeing here is something very wiggly. Okay, not too much of a turn in the eyebrow. She has almost an innocence to them. I'll go ahead and go to the nose shape here. I'm going to draw an upturned shape here with a big middle shape. In the middle, I have 3 shapes in my nose all the time. Okay, then we're going to go to our plane. So her mouth shape is really kind of plain. So you really don't want much action going on in the shape. That's how you get that mouth to look so plain like that. So don't put too much action in that middle lip right there. And then we'll just come back here and we'll add our top lip here. And then we'll add our bottom lip and here. And then she has like a little butt chin, okay? Now, as far as her eye shapes go, she does have, she's looking right at the camera. So every eye I'm gonna approach differently. This one I'm gonna approach right from the pupil. So I want to make sure that her pupillary distance is right. So I'm gonna start right from that. And I'm gonna go ahead and color those pupils in. So every picture has its own little thing. So once I see that, I know I'm cued in to do it. Now, if you'll look here, since I have the pupils, now what I can do is I can work to the outside of the pupil shape. And so now I'm going to give myself more of an exact feel of what is going on with her face. You see? You see that? So we have a really good look right there. Okay? And now we'll just go ahead and color in her eyebrows. Okay. So, one of the things that I love about drawing is that how the shapes invoke emotion in you. Like, that's how I know kind of which way to go. I rely on my feelings. When I see a shape, it either makes me feel like happy, or it makes me feel sad, or it makes me feel nothing. You know what I mean? Like when I went to her mouth shape here, I didn't feel anything, and that's the reason is because the mouth only does a couple of things. It goes down, it goes up, or it does this. So when you draw the mouth, you need to be thinking in terms of sad, happy, or neutral. And all of this, every shape has this same pattern in it. So if I'm thinking about a neutral shape, I'm going to do something without a lot of line, a lot of movement. So if you look here in the middle of the mouth, I didn't do a lot of movement. And I could have even gotten away with doing this, right? Because there's so many different ways to do it. So let's say I want to do something neutral. Watch, I could just do this. That's neutral, right? Now, and I could just put lips. Okay, so you see that same idea could work even if I didn't put any lines in. I just went with a neutral shape. Or if she was sad, right? Then I could take it out and go like this. Or happy, I could take it out and do like this. Okay, and put lips here, right? See what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Or I could go here and make her unhappy like this. Okay, so now she looks like she's mad, right? So none of that changes. You know, those type of things, your eyes and your mouth are always changing shapes due to what your face is communicating. Does that make sense? Okay. Whatever your face is feeling, you're going to communicate that. Whatever you're feeling, you're going to communicate that through your face, and therefore these things can change. So by knowing that information, then I can understand that there's a difference between the way a person's face is at resting position and then what it's doing in an emotional position. They look completely different. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta learn how to tap into that. Again, you can take classes with me, and I'll go ahead and hip you guys to some of the things you can look for. Okay. Now this one, same shape, same idea. Okay. What you want to do here, even if you're drawing from a side view, okay, is you want to, again, find what shapes stick out to you. I like to focus in on the black shapes a lot of the times because the black shapes tell me exactly. So with here, I can see 1, 2. I see 1, I see 2, I see a third shape and a fourth shape. So what I might do here is I'm thinking about wrapping around a ball. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to wrap around something, and then I'm going to come around to something. So I'm thinking about this shape here, one, right? And then as I go to the back of the shape, this is shape one, okay? But then I'm going to go to shape two back here. So now we got shape two. Then I have shape three, right? Which looks, for all intents and purposes, like this. Okay, three. And then you have another shape here that goes four, because you can see her ear shape, right? Kind of goes here, okay? And then you can see the sharp part behind her neck. So this would be her basic hairdo, right? Okay. Now, once we have that, we can tell so many other things about the face. So we can do, we can see our brow line here. We can see our cheekbone line. So what I might do here, right? What I might do here, right? Keep it simple. I'll make a small eyebrow and a big eyebrow because I want to give depth perception. So this eyebrow can't be as big as that one. You know what I mean? Then I might do my nose shape here. So I'm going with a half shape here. So what I'm doing is I need to be thinking in terms of again, dimension. So I'm thinking of a shape that has a line across the top because it's kind of up, a small side section and a bigger nose section here, right in the top. And I'm just gonna bend this shape around and do like this, okay? So I can see that really good. Now I can do this. Her mouth is basically saying nothing to me. So I can do like this and then really just connect the mouth from here to here because this is what's going on in her picture. Without me even putting any lips, I can see this is happening. So my top lip is going to be here with a smaller lip here. You know what I'm saying? And then this lip would be the same thing coming across, but into a smaller situation. And then you have your chin shape. So again, this is all about working off of where you're at to get to something else, right? All right, now we have the shape above the top of the eyebrow going into the eye and then out, right? So we can see that's where it bends, right? And then we'll come over here and then we'll go up into our ear shape, right? Here we can see we have our neck shape just kind of coming down like so into the longer, the collarbones here. So the collarbones are here very short. And then this one is going to be very just kind of coming off like this, right? So here you'll see that we have her little dress, right? And then her arm is probably somewhere around here, right? So you just want to keep it simple, okay? I know she got a bit of a long neck, but that's just a signature of my caricatures. All right, now what I want to do here, I can do something like this. I can make my eyes look up like this if I want, right? Because that's what she's doing, right? So once I do that, then what I'll do is I don't want to disturb what I've done. So I'm gonna go to the bottom of the shape and do something like this, right? Because as long as I'm keeping my eye up above this line, it's gonna look like she's looking up before I put this here. You see, so I can do this, and then I can come here and I'll do this on the outside. You see, and then I'll come here and then I'll go here. So now you got the top of it, right? And then you put your eyelashes kind of going out like this. You see? Hold on one sec, guys. I gotta... Okay. All right. So then once you got that there, right? You can make it bigger if you want, right? But sometimes you can't see where you want to go if you don't build the shape, right? Instead of just trying to go for it, like in other words, tackle it almost like you playing hangman, right? If you're playing hangman, you got words, right? Let's say I got a 4-letter word and it's like if I got P and then I got A and I got a T right here, well then my brain is saying, well, what goes between here and here? And it would be start eliminating stuff. M, R, O, I, right? It could be an N, it could be pant, but this one's going to be part, right? And so you see and so that's kind of how I'm doing the picture. I'm putting letters, right? And things all around, and then I'm connecting them like all together, right? Okay. So this is going to be my top lip here. And then we just kind of shade things in. Okay. All right, yeah, that looks great. Okay. All right, so let's go to our next face. And don't forget, guys, tips are awesome. If you feel like you're benefiting from the lessons that I'm giving you today, I'm trying to earn some funds for my son's birthday party. So we have a $500 goal we're trying to meet. And so if you guys don't mind helping by tipping, that'll be awesome. Thank you so much. All right, well, let's go ahead and go to the next thing. Let me give you guys some information. So if you need to take classes, you want to make caricature like your side job or your full-time job, you want to learn a little bit more about this particular art craft, I can teach you. Go to rouserworld.com/classes and sign up with me today. We also have a Patreon page, so guys, check out our Patreon. This is our fan support page. If you are a fan, you've been riding with me for a couple of years. I've been doing this for a while, so this is a great way to help to fund our drawing or help fund your lessons, because it does take time and energy, resource, all that stuff to do the lessons for you to learn from. So if you are out there and I've turned you into a caricature artist and you're earning a living doing it or whatever, I'm not making you feel guilty, but come on, man. I'm just messing with you, okay? And then last but not least, man, tips are super awesome. If you want to tip today, guys, tips are awesome. You can go to Cash App, $Rouserworld, and leave a tip so that we can get closer to that goal. I certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being generous today. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into it. Okay. So let's try this face here. This is another short hairdo here. Okay. And I'll tell you what, for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my marker. Okay. So see what we can do here. All right. So what kind of shape do I see here? I'm going to do like this here. Okay, again, I don't know where I want to go yet. So what I'm doing is looking at the overall flatness of this shape here coming around. So what is it doing? So since I don't know, what I can do is this, right? Make this one smaller. So you can see here, this would be her eyebrows, right? And let me see. So since that's that, what I can do here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do her eye shapes just because I feel like it. And then I'm just going to go inside of this shape and angle down. Let me see. Okay. She has those small eyes. Okay. And then something like this here is going straight across like a... It's very straight across. Something like that. I don't know. All right, so let's go to our hair shapes here. I feel like this picture's a little off, actually. I like it, but not that much. Let me try it again. Where do I want to start from? I don't know, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's better. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Okay. I think I like that one. Then we got this one in here. Then we got a huge triangle right here. So I'm looking for the huge triangle. I got one. So I got this one right here. One and that one. Then I got this one here. Okay. So I wanted to make that hairline a little less busy than what I did the first time. Then we need to figure out where our part's going to be. So I would say somewhere about right here is where I want to part the hair. So once I part it, then I want to go ahead and bring the shape in here. Yeah. Let's bring our top shape in. So we want to put a little piece here. Where do we want to wind up at, right? So look here. This is the back part of a hair over here. So I'm skipping around. So this gave me indication of where this was. So you can see that little dip right there, right? It's kind of just going straight through her face like this. So all I got to do is go straight through her face over here. You see what I'm saying? And then once I go straight to her face, that part goes in there. This part goes over here. And then you have another one right here, right before it gets to the top of the head, straight off of the nose, right? So you can see, like, these are like little things you can do to make your picture just more accurate by looking off of where things are supposed to be at. Positioning, you know what I mean? You got positioning, okay? And then, of course, we'll go here, down, and then here and down, right? And then you got your little shirt right there, right? Okay, so I think that one came out pretty good, right? Okay, let me see here. All right, now we're gonna do some shadows real quick. Okay. All right, and then we just go ahead and we just color in the hair, and we're good. I don't really like to dig. This is a brush tip marker. I think they're okay, but at the end of the day, I think that sometimes, especially this was not designed to draw with. Actually, it's designed to draw on T-shirts. So I just found it in my drawer and tried to make a cartoon out of it because I'm always just picking stuff up and drawing with whatever. I'm one of them. I just go for it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me see here. Okay, that's a cool picture. Let's try that one. And I think we're getting close to the end here. We're just doing the ladies' hairdos today. Cartoons, right? Thank you guys for coming out today. I'm not going to stick around much longer. Gotta go in here and do some dad stuff, right? But again, guys, thank you if you did tip today. I super appreciate it. Really, I do. Okay, I think that one works. Okay. All right, that one looked pretty good right there. No, I'm saying that's not a, yeah. Okay. Could I have done differently there? Maybe if I'd have started with the head shape first. Let me see. Sometimes when I start with the head shape first, it gives me a little bit of relief there. Yeah, I think that one worked out a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Hmm. Hmm. I think I'll just go with the eyelash on this one first, and then come back with this shape. Maybe something a little bit more square this time. Yeah, that one's better. Yep. I know that last one was kind of raggedy, right? It's okay. That's what practice is all about. Practice is about figuring out what works better for you, right? Because everything doesn't work for me is going to work for you. Okay. Yeah, that one came out cool. All right. Yeah, that one was way better. I'll show you the first one that I did. This one doesn't look like her. I don't know what the heck this is. What was I doing here? I don't know. It could be her. It does look like her. But that one looks like her in a different way. But this one looks more, because I think when I started with the brow line, the lash line, it makes everything easier. Let me practice that for a minute. With that lash line. Let me see. So what if I do the lash line first like that on the ladies? Let me see. Mm-hmm. I think the lips are too big. Yeah, that looks like that's funny. You see what happens when you don't start with that head shape first? I always lose my way when I don't start with the head shape, unless on certain faces I don't do that. But like this one, as long as I stay down here and I establish this first, it always works out better for me to start like that, and then come back and then over, and then kind of just bring the hair down like this. Because I don't have any perspective for anything that I'm trying to draw when I go the other way. Like, so you start having these cartoons that look like those ones on TikTok, right? Where things are just way grossly out of proportion, you know. I find that this works the best for me. You see how I make everything more, is everything is fits better. Everything fits better when you think of it like that. Yeah. Okay, now let's do the hair real quick. Or can I? Oh, okay. I can't downsize this. All right. So we got one. So we got the wall. Right. This is the wall. And then on the other side of the wall is the ball. Now, what would this be? Oh, this would still be part of the wall. And then this would be the fall. Well, I just saw the wall, the wall, and fall, right? So when I was drawing this haircut, I thought about like some beach waves just doing like this. And let's just say they're just crashing. The waves are crashing like that way, right? They're all crashing this way. And then on the other side of that crash is some waves where it had already crashed. You see what I'm saying? So this would be like the wall, and then it has a wall that goes all the way back, and then it has like a little ledge here, right, where things fall this way. So it's like a ledge, kind of like you drew this, like this. This is a wall, and then there's a wall behind it, and then there's a flat wall here that goes down like this. So everything is going up on this wall, right? And then everything is going curly on that wall. And then this would be like the face shape. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I explained that right, but that's kind of how it looked like to me. So, all right. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. Now you guys have had enough caricature drawing for today. All right. Hope that you guys were able to learn a little something with me today. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start with we're going to go ahead and get into our word of the day. I like to share that at the end of every stream. So let's go over here and go to here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, guys, and get into our word of the day. Hopefully you guys were able to learn a little something from me today. Go ahead and put this over here to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get out my devotional. And then from my devotional, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll get out of here. Get you guys on your way. So today, guys, I'm going to be going into, hold on a second, let me get my book here. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Good. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is what we're gonna go into today. I don't know why I'm compelled to go here, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. I'm gonna move this out of the way because I really don't need this. I can just see your comments from here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So we're going to go over to the book of Second Timothy. If you guys have never opened a Bible before, that would be in the New Testament. And we're going to go to chapter 2 and in verse 23 and 24. So it says 23 and 24. Okay. All right. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this today. All right. So first off, thank you, God, just for breath in my body, just waking me up this morning. Thank you for my family, my children. Thank you for everyone here today and their families. I pray for anyone here today that has anything going on in their life. Maybe they're going through a difficult time in their life. Maybe this is their first time here and they weren't expecting to hear like the word of God after a drawing session. But you gave me this gift, this talent to connect with other people and to create disciples, people that can, be transformed in their mind, their heart, their spirit. And so that's what I want to do. I just ask that you bless this time and that I receive something from this as well as those that need to receive from this today, that they will receive it as well. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and talk about today. We're going to talk about avoiding arguments. Okay, so, I feel like we live in this world like now where everybody, they call it debating, I guess. You want to debate over what your position is over the other person's position. And are debates necessary? I guess in some situations they are if the other person is wanting to listen to you. But when another person, if you're constantly having to go back and forth about something, and the other person's not willing or to hear or even consider another line of thought, then those things, I believe, they turn into it looks like arguments. And then again, on social media, that's what they like. If they can create an argument, then they can get more people to watch you argue. You know what I mean? And then aggressive people are going to want to argue no matter what. And if you're watching right now and you're saying, and you feel like arguing can be defended, that might be a sign of something that's going, on in your own heart. When we think about like this being the way to go, to just look for times to get into conflicts, road rage, things of this nature. Okay, so let's see what the word has to show us today. How do we avoid arguments? It says in 2 Timothy to refuse to get involved with inane, that means discussions that don't, inane discussions. That means discussions that's not going to move the issues forward. In other words, if I get into somebody cuts me off on the road, I make it out of that situation alive, I'm not going to stop and argue with you. There's what can getting out of my car and arguing with you, what is that going to prove? What am I going to get? Am I going to get a cookie? What am I going to get? If I'm in a relationship with my wife, everything doesn't need to be argued about. You get what I'm saying? So I always think in my head, what am I going to get? What is going to be, what's going to be the end of this right here? You get what I'm saying? Am I going to get a cookie again? What am I going to get for winning this argument? And a lot of times that helps me to avoid, even if I know I'm right in the situation, it says to avoid situations or talking about a situation in a way that's not going to actually lead to a resolution according to the scripture. Okay, so refuse to get involved in inane discussions. They always end up in fights. They always end up in a fight. The moment that you sense a person is combative or won't listen, or they're talking while you're talking, they don't want to listen to what you're saying, you can watch their body language, all kinds of stuff. And nothing taught me this more than being a caricature artist. A lot of the times I've had to go to events before where maybe they hired me for 2 hours. At the end of 2 hours, the line is very long, and the people that were waiting in line feel like it's my fault that I won't stay longer because they were waiting in line, but I'm not being paid to be there. So therefore, an argument can ensue. Oh, well, you're going to go over here, you're going to do this. And I actually had this happen before. And then I'll say to them, this is what I'll say. I'll look at them because I'm not going to get in an argument. I'll say, excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back. Leave them right there arguing. And then I'll find the person that hired me to be here. And then I'll explain my situation that I'm in. And I'll tell them that I don't want to be in this situation. So can you please control this? And then they will go over to whoever it is, their brother, their sister, whoever. It might be just somebody they know at that wedding. And they will explain to them, I hired him for this much amount of time. So this is where if you want a picture, you're going to have to pay for it. Because I'm not hiring them for an additional amount of time. You get what I'm saying? It's not an argument. So those type of things can happen. It says God's servant must not be argumentative, but a gentle listener. And that is so true. In fact, I found over my 53 years of living that a good listener is considered a great conversationalist. Because when you're listening, I'm constantly learning how to listen more than talk. Because I know I find out more when I don't say anything, when I'm just there and I say something when it needs to be said, but not just because I want to talk. You know what I mean? And I had to learn the difference between that, getting myself in several jams in my life. So we must not argue with people, but be a good listener. Because a lot of times you could be saying the same thing the other person is saying, but because you're using different words and you're not listening, you're arguing over something that's not going to move the situation forward. Because actually there is no argument, because actually you're saying the same exact thing using a different terminology. I'm from the suburbs, you're from the hood. This is how we speak versus how you speak, but we just said the same thing. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's get into the body of the argument, or the body of the scripture here, or the lesson, and we'll talk about it. It says, if you're often drawn to arguments, you may simply think that you're telling it like it is, or setting other people straight. Okay. As a kid, my mom would always tell me the key to making it in this world is minding your own business. And generally, people that don't mind their own business, they find themselves in a lot of hard situations because they want to tell it like it is. They want to set the record straight. They don't have a concept or the word I'm looking for is they don't have a concept of when they shouldn't say something and when they should. They only think about it in terms of their feelings and whether they are right or wrong, right? Whether they are right or wrong. So they feel like they're right and they're emotional, they're not going to listen to anything else. So perhaps the way that you want to go about helping this person or not helping them or whatever, maybe the way you're doing it is really counterproductive because it seems like it makes a lot of sense to you, but because this other person doesn't reason like you or whatever, it's not getting through to them. So we may often feel like we're just telling it straight. It says, but most quarrels, most fights, most verbal fights create hard feelings and become emotional exchanges rather than a reasoned discussion. So if all you're thinking of, if we're talking about a subject, I always do this with my children. I do it with anybody when we're in ministry. We always talk about things like this. I'll say, okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about, let's say we're going to talk about lying. Okay, whatever, okay? We're not talking about you lying or me lying. We're talking about lying. Then we might define what lying is, right? Okay? Like they got a whole thing now about woman, right? And we got a whole thing and they'll say, well, what is a woman? And then you got somebody that says a woman can be anything I want it to be, right? That's where the conversation needs to stop right there. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just, how can we do that? How can we not understand? We can't have a conversation because we don't have a premise for our conversation. I can tell you, let's talk about cars. And if I say, well, what's a car to you? And you say, well, it's something that has two wheels on it and handlebars and an exhaust, and you can do a pop-a wheelie. Okay, now in my mind, you're clearly talking about a motorcycle. But in your mind, you're talking about a car. So, and you're not going to budge from that. There's nothing I can do to make you see that differently. The only thing that'll be able to teach you sometimes is just life itself. And a person can't tell you like it is. It is not going to do any good. And we have to understand when we're in that situation that everybody is not meant to hear the truth from you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the truth will come somewhere else down the road from somebody else. Sometimes even the Bible says that I will turn you over to a ruffle-bait mind. In other words, let you believe what you want to believe and let that lead you to where you're going to be going to. And then I don't know about you, but I believe that experience is the best teacher. Experience, when you get into a situation where your core belief is rocked, that thing you held on for your whole life, and you just know it to be true, where life puts you up against this wall and shows you that maybe you are a gun owner and you feel like guns are going to keep you safe, right? And then you get into a situation where a gun could not help you. And you had a gun, right? And all this, everything looked like it was going to be in your favor. But guess what? You know, they say, I've heard this saying before, and it said it's no fun when the rabbit got the gun. But the other person had a gun too, you see? So it always winds up with these hard feelings and emotional exchanges like they do. Anytime you say this conversation about women, what does that turn into? Again, if you got upset about me saying that, you can understand that again. I'm not trying to tell anyone like it is here today. I'm not trying to make you change your mind about anything. I came here to share the word of God. This is what I do before I practice and after I practice. I say, God, give me insight. Show me something so that I can clear my mind, right? So this is my practice time, not yours, mine. So now you asking me what made me better as an artist. Well, every artist is going to answer that differently. For me, it was developing myself spiritually and learning not to always rely on what I'm looking at, because that's what the Bible teaches me, to live a life of faith, even in the face of catastrophic situations, how to maintain my calm so that I can get to the finish line. Then it says, ask yourself what you spend the most time doing during an argument. Do you patiently listen to the other person, trying to understand his point of view? Or does listening to you mean impatiently waiting for your turn to speak? I know I used to be like that. I used to be the one that when we were talking about something, I couldn't wait to say what I had to say, because either I wanted to be the one, I wanted to show everybody how smart I was. Either A, there was people that like to use a lot of big words and you know what I'm saying, or sound like they know what they mean, what they're talking about. And then the other person is just because you just can't control yourself. It's lack of self-control. Your opinion is more important than everybody else's. So you can't stop talking. So you are not being a gentle listener. And the Bible here is telling us, how do we avoid these arguments? We become more of a listener. And when you be surprised when you listen more and you really listen without thinking about your comeback, just listen. You will hear some of the darndest things. You'll be like, holy smoke. So you literally believe that, I don't care about you, right? Or I don't love you, or I hate you, or you get what I'm saying? People might be thinking that through the words that they're saying, or through the word. You get what I'm saying? Because this is how they're perceiving the argument. This conversation is no longer about the lying or woman and man. The conversation now becomes personal, because when you are the type of person that thinks about your outcome first, whatever your outcome is, you're going to automatically personalize the topic. You can't talk about something and leave it as a topic. you got to jump in the car with the topic and make it about you and the topic. No. What if we want to talk about lying, but we want to talk about lying in regards to, I don't care who's on the planet, or what a woman is decided on who's on the planet, or who won the World Series. It doesn't matter who we're talking to. We don't want you. How we can become better at not arguing is to keep things from becoming personal and allow them to be topics and not personal topics. Because when you learn about it that way, then you don't get offended at your own self. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in your mind, you got some people in their mind, they'll know they're wrong in their own head. They know it. I've done it. I know I'm wrong, but I still want to argue. Just because I want to argue. The Bible says God's servant must be, again, a gentle listener. Granted, there are times when you must contend earnestly for faith, okay? So I'm not telling you there's never a time where you will not have to stand up for your faith, okay? But you must contend with facts and solid reasoning, okay? And facts and solid reasoning means that what things happen to you in your life. That's what the Bible points us to testimony. And it tells us to stop talking about things that don't matter. How did God interact with you, and what was that interaction with you like? Because nobody can argue about what your interaction with God was. You get what I'm saying? They can say, I've never had an interaction. They can say, I don't believe that because I've never had that interaction. But they can never say that you're lying because of what happened to you. You get what I'm saying? They can't prove that factually. You get what I'm saying? They don't have any solid reasons to say that other than the fact, I just don't want to believe you. You understand? So it says you must contend with facts and solid reasons, not with a raised voice and intimidating body postures. So even in doing this correcting and talking to somebody, you want to, it's really sometimes about, or a lot of times about your delivery. It's not about what you said, it's about how you said it. I'm a firm believer you can say anything to anybody depending on how you select your words. You can say it to them and make them think about it differently. In finishing, it says, Solomon said, starting a quarrel is like opening a floodgate. So stop before a dispute breaks out. So I don't want to start an argument with somebody. I don't answer. I'm not going to make a comment on a video unless it's positive. In other words, you got to be really bored to read a comment on the internet and be like, I ain't got nothing else to do. I need to respond. I need to give my 2 cents about that. Because the dispute's going to break out. Especially if your viewpoint is different than the other person that commented. And again, for the sake of views, this is why, good content creators understand this. And ones that want to make a lot of money and they just make videos just so they can create conflict, because conflict brings arguments and drama brings more people to look at what the drama is. I have yet to ride by an accident on the highway where where people are not stopping and looking at it. Right? They have to. It's a way our brain is wired. And psychologists know this, and it's common knowledge that people are attracted to drama. So the more drama you can cause, right? Just look at everybody that's famous. Look at all these rappers and stuff that these kids listening to. They're not famous for doing anything good, right? They're famous because they get up there and they degrade women. They talk about shooting other boys and shooting people and shooting the hood and shooting everybody and killing everybody and robbing everybody. I don't see any good in none of that, but they're famous. And then they'll turn around and ask this person that's talking about this stuff, what do they think about politics, right? And then they'll go ask, I don't know, NBA YoungBoy or somebody like this, what do you think about like the presidential race? And he don't know what he think about nothing. But because he has money, some kind of way he became a resource on that. But anyway, Starting a quarrel is like opening a floodgate, so stop before a dispute breaks out. Know what's actually worth disputing and what's not at the end of the day. Be a good listener. Watch your delivery of how you deliver information. And then know what's actually worth disputing over. Okay, often the wisest thing you can do in an argument is to avoid getting drawn into it. Okay, find out how you can keep yourself safe by not getting into an argument with a fool. Right? Because people, young people now, if you're young here today, and I'm talking to all the youngsters, man, you hear about these guns and stuff, but it ain't worth it to lose your life. I'm telling you, you young right now, because when you young, I remember when I was young, when I used to be in the flipping, like gymnast stuff a lot. And I remember the first backflip that I did. And after that, flipping was it was fearlessness. Like, it was some of the things that I remembered I did as a kid now that I was totally fearless. I had no concept of what, like, that I could kill myself. I could land on my stuff, certain things. And as you get older, you won't do nothing. You won't jump off a chair the wrong way. You believe in safety first. All these type of things happen. But when I was young, I didn't understand. So I'm trying to give you some wisdom from a part of life that if you live long enough, you're going to get there. And if you live this long and you already made a dumb decision and you find yourself in prison with 100 years, 50 years, 60 years, oh yes, it can happen. I saw it happen to people. I witnessed it. I was there, like literally there, talking to a youngster, cutting hair. I had a job in the barbershop when I got in trouble. Hey, young man, how you doing today? Hey, I'm doing school. Hey, man, how much time? Oh, man, I got 55 aggravated years. In the state of Texas, that means you got to do 25 and a half years to get out of jail. 25 and a half years. So get this, he grew up, right? And then one day it hit him that the argument that he shot that guy over, or the place that he robbed, I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't even worth it. What you get, $300, $100? Is that worth the rest of your freaking life? Don't be insane. Don't follow these other, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you this today because I don't want to see it happen to nobody's son. I got 2 sons and 2 daughters. I don't want to see it happen to nobody's kids. To have to talk about it after the fact, man. I realize now this the error of my ways, but now I just gotta make the most of where I'm at. I know I'm going to probably die here. You know what I mean? You can't take it back. And how it all starts is through avoiding these stupid arguments we get into over nothing. Learn to listen. Learn to avoid people that don't have common sense. Don't pour water. Don't even talk to nobody that if you get to talking to them and they start saying something, even if it's your best friend, when they start saying things that don't make no sense, you might need to start cutting ties with them because they are going to get you in an altercation that you might not come out on the winning side of, more than likely. Okay? So guys, that's our word of the day for today. It's called avoiding arguments. Okay? If you're an arguer, hey man, look, that argument might cost you your life. That argument might cost you your marriage. So many, and then at the end here, I'm done. I read a story about a domestic violence. How does that always start? I'm going to tell you how it starts because I'm in a marriage and I've been in relationships. I've been doing relationships since the 80s, 90s, 80s or something like that. Okay? Now, when you're doing relationships, how does an argument like that start? It's usually over something small. And then I'm going to tell you what it is. The man and woman is in the house, right? And a man can't out-argue a woman. That's just first off the top. I'm going to give y'all youngsters some game. You can't out-argue, okay? That's their strength. Our strength is physical strength. Sometimes we have, not saying we're not smart, but we are physically, we understand stronger than a woman is. So now you got this one using her best skill versus your best skill. And then when the words, if you're not in control of your emotions, get the best of you, right? Because you're not in control of what they're saying to you. It's like Muhammad Ali fighting somebody and saying, you know what? You're going down, sucker. You can't even fight. And he punch you. Boom. And you're going down. You're too slow. You're inadequate. You can't do this. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? And then the man that's not in control of his emotions, that don't have God, he going to get upset. Okay? And then, especially if he was just, he wasn't raised to control his emotions, what's the first thing he going to do? He's going to resort to physical. He's going to say, I'm going to take it to an area where I know I can outclass you. Where I feel like I can outclass you. You get what I'm saying? So now here we go with the, you know what I mean? And so then it turns into, because those type of things are never really just planned right on the spot. It's always you find yourself there, like because you got in this argument and you weren't thinking and you were letting the devil set you up for this argument. Now you find yourself here, all right? And you done said some things and did some things. Now you can't take it back, and now you want to take it a step further because now you mad, you and your feelings and all this. And now you want to hurt the kids. You want to hurt their mama. You want to hurt everybody. You get what I'm saying? Because the man done lost his mind because he can't control. And this all started because of a spark of an argument. And an argument that started more than likely over something that didn't matter, or even if it did matter, they approached talking about it the wrong way. Hey, if you're cheating, let's talk about what cheating is, okay? All right, and then let's talk about how would you feel? So let's look at it like this. And I'm talking to this person. Well, how would you feel if, somebody did what cheating classifies to you? What would be some of your responses? Okay, then I would be like, well, might be some of my responses. Then we might talk about what are alternatives to doing this. You get what I'm saying? Because now we're keeping it in an area where we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's more, and then maybe none of this will work. In which case the person's not willing to listen, and you may have to bring somebody in from the outside. But the other thing is just keep always thinking, always on your toes about when you are going to engage a conflict. Because at the end of the day, you don't never know when somebody is ready to kill you that day. The guy you're about to argue with, right, is going to do something to you. That woman is going to do something to you. That person on the other end of the road rage is going to do something to you. You don't never know who you're dealing with. And if you're not ready to die for what you believe in, right, I don't think you need to go there. It's just not smart. Because a lot of times it ain't worth it. So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and I'm going to get out of here. You guys be blessed. I thank you so much for drawing with me tonight. I'll leave you guys some information again here. If you are interested in taking classes, caricature classes, you can take those classes at rouserworld.com/classes. You can also join up for our Patreon. So we have our fan support page here, patreon.com/rouserworld. And then lastly, guys, again, me and my wife were attempting to raise $500 for our children's birthday party that we're putting on in about maybe, I think it's about a week and a half that we have that birthday party coming up. So we're just trying to, earn a little something. This is what I do full time. So if you would like to sew into that, you've been following me for a while, or even if you haven't been, you just feel like, hey, the lesson was pretty cool. The word of the day was good. You know what I mean? And you want a tip, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All tips and donations can go to Cash App $Rouserworld. Okay? Or you could just use your super stickers if you guys are here on YouTube. Okay? So let me go ahead, guys, and get out of here. Again, you guys be blessed. Don't forget to practice. Practice makes perfect. And stay away from stupid arguments. That's not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything just for being in this argument with them. Okay? All right, guys. So you guys be blessed. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys next time.